But in actuality, we set out on the very first day of this 4 years ago with 3 goals in mind. The first was we wanted to create a community event for McMinnville. We wanted to create something for the entire family that the major focus was not on beer or wine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have some, of course, but the entire event is focused on creating a wonderful community, family-oriented fine arts event within our community. The second one was the arts community has been probably hurt more than any subsector, if you will, with this current economy.
No doubt.
You know, it's hard enough just to worry about paying the bills or anything else, much less to find expendable money to buy fine art.
Exactly.
So artists have been having a terrible, even worse time for the last, 3-4 years now? Well, because of this, when we created the Artist Village, we decided that we were going to make this probably the least cost event for them to participate in. To give you an idea, this year, for a 2-day event, each artist would pay $100 to participate. Okay? There's a $25 jurying fee, but that's money we give back to them, and I'll explain that. But so the entire cost for a 2-day event is $100 to get in for the artist, $25 for jurying, and we supply the tent. So all they're bringing is their art and any display that they may have. That $25, we actually turn around and give it back to the artists. All of the monies we take in from the jurying fee are given back in the $1,000 cash prizes that we give through the People's Choice Awards.
Okay.
And to my knowledge, I believe we're the only fine arts event that literally sets it up that artists come and could sell absolutely nothing and still walk away with $500 or $300 or $200 in cash. And we leave it up to the people. It was funny, the first year we did it, many of the artists were upset. They were saying, well, I don't want people. I want to be juried. I want, you know, and I don't know quite what they meant by that, but, you know, I want professionals to look at my art and award the prizes. Well, the interesting thing was we had so many of our guests who were attending visit the art and literally spend an hour or more looking at it and making notes about it and comparing them and then going back to the artist to talk about it. That at the end of that first year, we knew we had done the right thing.
That's amazing, yeah.
You know, all the artists came back and said, forget what I said.
Well,
It's
people feel
wonderful.
invested in the process of...
That's
yeah.
exactly it. People felt vested that their opinion mattered, and it did. And it was interesting because I was tabulating the votes and weighing the votes and that, and it was almost like a horse race. At certain times of the day, I would see someone surge ahead. In the afternoon, someone else would surge ahead. You know, and you could see front runners throughout the period, but it was a great opportunity for people to participate, to feel like they are, and it turned out the artists just loved it. I mean, they just thoroughly loved having people do it. So what we're doing is carrying on that in 2012. We're building this event as McMinnville's largest fine arts event, okay, bar none. In fact, we're planning on having minimum attendance this year will be about 3,000, 3,500 people.
Wow, okay.
Okay. And so the artists know as well, we are actually engaged with a marketing company this year.
Okay.
And our goal with this company is to help us target the greater Salem, Portland, Vancouver markets, okay, the best way to get the word out, and to target incomes. So our goal is to create an event that's very low cost for the artist with the highest return so that they can walk away with some good money. And like I say, we're spending more of our money this year just to do that for the artists. Well, the third thing we always wanted to do was eventually to be a fundraiser.
Sure.
Okay. Some year we're going to make that happen. Okay. But what I really love about our club with Sunrise Rotary is that we started off with a beginning 5-year commitment to not make a penny. And we would give up whatever we'd made to reinvest it back into the event and into the artists. So we're doing that again this year. If our luck holds out, we might even break even, who knows?
Can't tell, huh?
Yeah, and but to let you know some of the changes, we're going up to 60 artists this year.
Okay, from 50?
50, we're going
Okay.
to 60 is our goal. We have advertised now, or not advertised, we've gotten the word out to all 55 newspapers in the state of Oregon.
Wow,
It is restricted to Oregon artists only.
okay.
Okay. Even though I do think last year some of our cousins over in Camas came over, but we just sort of winked and,
They swam the river.
yeah, it's okay. We didn't say anything. But we do want to keep it, we want to stay focused on Oregon artists because the interesting thing I've learned about these events is a very, very large percent of the artists are not only not from Oregon, they're not even from the West Coast.
Oh, I know, yeah.
You know, and once you become juried into many of the large art events, it becomes part of the circuit. If you go down to Salem, a huge percent of the artists are from Hawaii and Colorado and Maine and Connecticut, Texas. We want to focus on building Oregon artists and building their incomes. So that's why we've restricted it in that way. So we're going out, we have the marketing people coming, working with us. We're expanding our call to artists to every newspaper in the state of Oregon.
That's great.
Mass mailing to art galleries. And it looks like this is going to be the absolute best year for us in 2012. Just wanted to share the word for
I
artists.
think that's great. I noticed that the audience is able to see some images from last year. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful event.
Oh.
Perfect location.
Oh, my heavens. It's so much nicer to be under those trees. It's just the ambiance is perfect.
And the weather last year
It was wonderful.
It was-
superb.
it
We
was
have the
perfect.
weather planned for this year to be as good or better.
And it will, obviously, probably you're planning to do it the second weekend in July again?
It'll be July 14th and 15th,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday and Sunday. And we'll actually have the trolley going between downtown and the event on Saturday.
Okay,
So people will be able to enjoy historic McMinnville and come to the show as well.
Mm-hmm. sure. And you'll do music again, like as you've done in the past?
Pardon me?
Music? You'll have
Yes,
music?
music. We'll have readings. We're still planning on a demonstration area for
Okay,
artists.
yeah.
And we will have some wine tasting from the Eola Hills wineries. And we will have food there as well. We want to make it available for folks so that they can come, get something to eat, have a little wine. But again, we're focused on the artists and the fine arts that we want to deliver to them.
Yeah, it's a really interesting angle in that we're really trying to reach out to the Oregon artists to say, this is for you. This is something that we want you to be a part of. And so there's a little bit of work involved trying to get out there to, say, the galleries on the coast and maybe take some rack cards or meet some people and do some face-to-face. But I think it's really important, and I think it means something to them to know that, hey, we want you. We want this to be an Oregon event. And
So that's where we're going. Their success will be our success someday.
It's an amazing thing that you've made the commitment to, and I really appreciate that because I know there are so many events that are, whether it be an art and wine auction there's lots of them, or art and wine shows, events, things like that. It does seem like the focus is usually more on the wine than the art, and the art's kind of maybe an afterthought of sticking it in between the wineries just to break it up, but this is truly something, you're an artist. I mean, you have that sensibility, and I guess I can really appreciate that because I think it's a pretty rare thing. I mean, I know there are some art fairs, but as you say, a lot of them have a significant percentage of artists that aren't from this area. So this is really going to be the premier Oregon-centric art event.
It is, and we're beginning our first jurying within the next 10 days.
Wow.
And we will be, and I'm putting it out to artists to don't wait to submit. because we are jurying and approving as we go.
In categories, probably,
In
too.
categories, and we're going to have all categories of art, from painting to sculpture to metalwork, woodwork, you name it. It's open to everything.
Jewelry and glass and everything.
Jewelry, fused glass. We've already had many submissions, and like I say, our first of 3 juryings will begin probably within the next 10 days.
That's really incredible. I mean, it's kind of a year-round project. When
Yeah.
once it starts to roll, you kind of have to start thinking about the next one as soon as you wrap last year's, right?
It was, we wrapped mid-year last July, and we had our first committee meeting in September.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, there's no.
Well, one of the things about committee meetings, though, of this nature, is you do actually have to also jury the wine. And that may require more than one sampling, just to make sure
Yes.
that it's fit to serve the public.
Well,
You know, somebody's got to do the hard work
Now,
there.
that is true, and I must say, for anyone who would care to be on my committee next year, when we have our committee meetings, it's at my house with some wine.
Okay, there you go.
It just helps the mind to work better.
I agree with you. Well, it frees your creative impulses, you know.
Right.
So there you go. Wow.
And I should point out that there are a number of people. The Sunrise Rotary Club is not that big.
No, what do you guys have, like 40 people?
Not even.
I believe
35?
33, 34.
Okay.
So put a word out too, if people within the community. There's a lot of folks who would like to be involved, maybe just don't know that it's available to be. And we do want to build community volunteers this year as well.
So in other words, what you're saying is you would welcome community help, volunteers to
Yes.
support this event who don't necessarily have to make a commitment to become a Rotarian. That's what you're
Oh,
saying.
absolutely. I mean,
Just
they
come
can
and
do
work on
both.
the event if you want to.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay, that's great. That's great to know.
And,
we had a good response last year.
Yeah.
A lot of volunteers.
And we've got our website up, www.artinmac.org.
Perfect.
It's ARTINMAC.
See, you know the drill. You know that drill. No.com's on Arts Alive. I love it.
That's right.
I never have to worry about you,
Actually, that
Bill.
was one of the reasons we are dual now. We have the other, but we're also .org.
I love it.
So we've got that set up, and we're also, if anybody wants to contact us, they can do so through the website. And for artists as well, they can download the application and additional information. It'll all be there.
You know, the other thing that we should mention is if anybody doesn't really feel like getting out there and butching tables around, but just wants to write you a big old fat check to help underwrite this event, you could certainly be willing to accept one.
Well, it can count, because I can tell you this year that the club is, because everybody's being hurt, including sponsors,
Oh, absolutely.
that we're actually taking money out of our own pocket to make up the
Ooh,
difference
okay.
this year. That's the kind of commitment we have.
Well, you know, I have a lot of respect for your club. I know you do really good work in the community. You know, specifically have, you know, in past years been the recipient of some of your help. And I really think that you guys just do an amazing job of really getting out there and doing some of the hands-on stuff that might not be the most glamorous things to do, but you do it anyway. And I think you should be commended for that, for sure. So this
thank you.
this is another example of kind of being willing to go down and dirty when there's, you know, as you say, it's not a bottom line kind of thing. It's not really about the money. It's really about creating something special for the community. And you know, we should be known for that. So I think it's wonderful that you're doing this.
Well, thank you for the kind words.
Thanks, Lynda.
Yeah, I want to just say thanks to you both for being here, and Walt for bringing all this information about theater and my goodness, and music, and you know, it's great, and I'm glad you guys could be here today. So thanks.
Thank you for
very
having
much.
us.